other groups across this country to form this operational unity, keep their own identity, but establish a brotherhood of black people, and that's what we want. So let's give all these brothers a big hand for being out here, all right? Let's give it to them. All right, Brother Walter Fremont, come on, brother, where are you? What's happening now? Where's Brother Walter? I give to you now the chairman and MC of the meeting, Brother Walter Fremont. Thank you very much.
Y'all dug that, and I know y'all are soulful black people, so let's give Brother James a hand, huh? It's indeed my pleasure to introduce the next speaker to you. Here's a cat who's got a lot of soul, he's got a lot of heart, and he's committed to the liberation movement. Some folks say he ain't a militant, but we know where he is. When the Black Youth Conference was looking for a place, with no bread, we went to a cat by the name of Reverend Tom Kilgore. So I would like to introduce to you Reverend Tom Kilgore, pastor of Second Baptist Church. Let's give him a hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the halls of this arena, there are peace petitions. In Vietnam, thousands of people are dying uselessly, and all too many of them are black people from the United States of America. Who are dying for a country in which they are not free. Thousands of people are dying uselessly, and all too many of them are black people from the United States of America. Who are dying for a country in which they are not free. So many of you have written the church off, but I'm one in the church that hasn't written anybody off, that's still willing to work for freedom, and especially to see that black people in America live with dignity and honor. I pastor a church that's considered a prestigious church, but I know that my job as a prophet is to stand on the firing line and to help and work where the basic things of life are at stake. And I come this evening to bring my greetings, and especially to say, let every one of us sign this peace petition. Let every one of us say and keep saying that we ought to be out of Vietnam and back here clearing up conditions in the United States of America. I greet you, and I want to tell you, maybe some of you haven't been close to the church for a long time, but there are a whole lot of us in the church who are sensitive and who are fighting and giving their lives for the same valid principles for which you are fighting and giving yours. And I come as a representative of the church without any equivocation or any shame to say that we, as we carry on from day to day, are conscious of the vast struggle. And I know the irrelevance of the church in so many areas. But I have not written it off, and I stay there because I believe in it, and I believe that it has a message. Neither have I written you off, because I believe that you, as I said to our congregation this morning, men like Stokely Carmichael have a message to tell to this country in a time like this. And I hope America will listen. For I want to see America, an America where all people can live together in peace and in freedom. This is what I have been preaching for all these years, and there are segments of the oldest black institution we have, the black church, that's still preaching that. Thank you, and God bless you.
Reverend Kilgore, I know y'all can be better than that. Y'all ain't warmed up yet. Come on, warm up for that. That cat is talking about some righteous stuff because we got 37% of our black brothers dying over there in that racist oppressive war in Vietnam. And they need to be right here. Not tomorrow, but they need to be right here, right now. That's what I call that black soul, but I got to tell y'all about one thing. Like that man that's got all kinds of people here, and every time you stand up, it makes it pretty tough for security. So just feel if you catch your foot when you want to stand, all right?
I'm going to try and give you some insight as to who our black brother Huey P. Newton is. You notice I didn't say was. We've already had Malcolm X. No was, is. Brother Huey P. Newton is now chained in a jail in Oakland, California. He's charged with murder of a pig cop. He's charged with the wounding of another, and he has another couple more charges, a so-called kidnapping, and an ex-felon with a gun. The brother has soul. Wait a minute. His soul is for black people to survive within the confines of racist, decadent America. This is the brother's soul. Now watch. The brother teaches that politics is war without bloodshed, and that war is politics with bloodshed. The brother understands that the white power structure makes many political decisions upon our heads that we disagree with. The brother understands or teaches gives what we call a functional definition for black power. Starts off with a functional definition of power. That power is the ability to define phenomenon and make it act in a desired manner. Now wait a minute, let's go back to that word phenomenon. Black power, black people, social phenomena. 400 years of oppression by the racist power structure, the racist dogs and pigs in this country. We must understand and define this first and get some power, develop and organize in a fashion where after we define the situation, we can make it act in a desired manner. Black people's situation is political. Now, when we look at the power structure and how it uses power, let's say what their real power is. We must understand that it's not green power, because this is a bunch of baloney. The brother shows you, if you get a chance to get it run down, and I'm going to run it down, that a very good example in the Civil War, when the North and the South were fighting against each other, the North had some green power, Yankee money, and the South had some green power, Confederate money. Both of them had forces and guns. The North outmaneuvered the South, had all the guns and force, and defined the South's money as not really being money anymore. They burn it up in the streets. Where was the real power at? The guns and the force. Can we check that out? Black people, in the period of Reconstruction, were promised 40 acres and 2 mules. 40 acres and 2 mules. But we didn't get this 40 acres and 2 mules. We got the butt of a gun, the lynching rope, etc. But if we'd have had that 40 acres and 2 mules to every black man, black people would have had some ownership of land. Black people would have had a chance to have constructed within the confines of this setup their own institutions, to control their own communities and control their own lives, and have the power to determine the destiny of their lives and their communities, or wherever they might live. If we'd have had this 40 acres and 2 mules. Because by owning this 40 acres and 2 mules at that time, this country was predominantly agricultural at the time, we could have wheeled and dealed and operated in such a fashion that the power structure would have had to answer our basic political desires and needs. Also, if we'd have been promised the 40 acres and 2 mules, the 40 acres, we might have had a chance then to compete against General Motors, Standard Oil, and the major industries now who are over 100 years old. Maybe you didn't know that Standard Oil started off in 1860, and 10 years later they were refining some 80 million barrels of oil. Now, these big industries, these white businessmen are the one who robbed us of this 40 acres and 2 mules. They got it right now. What I'm trying to hip you to, brothers, is that in 1869, the man had the land because he bought Alaska in 1869, right in the period of Reconstruction. That's when we were supposed to receive the 40 acres and 2 mules. That's when we would have had the power. That's when we'd have had the land to live on and survive, to organize amongst ourselves. That's one form of power I've been talking about, is ownership of land. The other form of power is the ownership and the control of the industry by the peoples in the community, by whatever system you design to do it. But there's a third form of power that we must understand that exists. It definitely exists. It's commonly referred to as a military power, which the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense calls a self-defense power. Guns organized in the black community is a form of power. Every time the power structure makes a political decision on a group of people's head and the people disagree with it, the power structure sends in guns and force upon the people's head to try to make them submit to those political decisions that do not serve them. We are going to have to understand what power really is. The Vietnamese in Vietnam understand what power is. They understand they are using guns and force to defend themselves in an organized fashion, only in the relation to their terrain. We have another terrain. I'm not talking about you going up in no hills nowhere. I'm talking about right where you are at your home, right there in Detroit. Did you see it in Detroit? You remember that? Some more organizing. The brothers was dealing in righteous power. In a 200 square block area in Detroit, these cats drove out U.S. paratroopers for 4 hours. The brothers was uptight. Every black man here must have a shotgun in his home to defend himself and his family against the racist Gestapo police who occupy our community like a foreign troop. Now, maybe you're saying that, is this the limit of Huey's perspective? On the contrary. If you ever have a chance to read the platform and the program of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, that point I just finished talking on was only one point, point number 7. And point number 7 of the platform of the Black Panther Party says that we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. That's only one point. Point number 1 says we want freedom, we want power to determine the destiny of our own black communities. Point number 2 says we want an end by the white racist businessman who robs us in our black communities. Point number 3 says we want full employment for our people. Point number 4 says we want decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. Point number 5 deals with education and us being educated with the true decadence of this racist American society and our place in society and who we are and taught about self. Point number 8 deals with the fact that we want all the black brothers who are in city jails, prisons, that's Soledad, that's Folsom, that's Quentin, that's Chino, all the joints we want them free because they haven't had a fair trial. They all been tried by white juries and none of them are their peers. Now, out of this platform and program, Huey said we must start working somewhere on a practical level. So, in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area, in October, November of '66, cops began to get patrol. We didn't go out there with just a camera and a tape recorder. We went out there with a shotgun, just like here's lots of shotguns. And when the cop looked at the shotgun, he said, yeah, that will kill me if I get to jiving. And he knows it. That was dealing in a form of power, organized. The brothers just wasn't throw the gun in their hand. The brothers was trained safety with those guns because they realized and were taught to realize that it was necessary that this gun is political and is here to defend black people and their black communities against the racist police brutality. When we patrol cops up there, we'd come out of the cars, 5 strong, call up another car come up 5 strong. That's when a cop then stops some brother on the corner and we line up, stand 10 feet away. They got some little jive law saying every citizen got a right to observe a cop carrying out his duty. We observed him, but we observed him with our rods. He got a 12-gauge shotgun, we have one. We got 357s, we got 45s, everything just like he got. This was the practical program that was instituted. It's instituted to another level. That black people in their homes, put a shotgun in your home. The cops is in your community. He's not off in the white community brutalizing white people. He's down in the black community brutalizing black people so you can patrol him from your window. Joe, John, and Jim, who all live in the same block, and Harry, and Edward, and Babu, and the rest of them, all supposed to be uptight together to know that 2 or 3 dudes, when they're home and around, that they checking out up and down the block, that if they see some pig out there getting ready to shoot or brutalize some brother, that they're going to come to the aid of that brother with 4 or 5 shotguns quickly. That is a practical program of dealing in black power, organizing from block to block in every black community across this nation, that we will defend ourselves against the racist attacks by the racist pigs. On point number 7 we started. Reason we really started on point number 7 is because if you wanted to hold a meeting or hold a demonstration concerning employment, housing, decent education, etc., the man or rent strikes will send down the pigs to intimidate you with his pistols. So if we're going to hold a rent strike, we're going to hold a rent strike with brothers there, with arms, etc., to make sure that the black people be defended and not let those cops brutalize them just because the people want to redress their grievances, as it says by the man's own jive law. So I want to bring the point to this level, that Huey P. Newton is a political prisoner. The lawyer has told us that if it didn't have political, racial overtones, Huey P. Newton, they haven't got enough evidence to convict Huey. He could get him out tomorrow. The man wants to railroad Huey and drop a pill on him. Black people have to support Huey P. Newton. Black power. Black people in this room. Black people have to stand up behind Huey P. Newton. Huey P. Newton was standing up for black people. I think it's necessary to go a little farther in getting you to understand the line of demarcation between us and the enemy, and who the real enemy is. We say the pig cops. That's true. We say the races, the Klan, the Birchites, the Minutemen, etc. That's true. But that power structure allows and organizes and maintains the racism that goes on in this country as a whole. That power structure is very, very important. And that pig cop is the real power of the power structure. Don't let anybody take that out of your mind, because that's where the real power starts. Before Watts, there was only 1,300 cops. There are 6,000 cops in Los Angeles now patrolling black people. And 3.5 years ago, there were only 350 cops in Oakland. There are over 1,000 cops there now patrolling black people. San Francisco doubled its force from 550. All across this nation, in every major metropolis, they are doubling and tripling and quadrupling these police forces. We cannot sit aside. We must organize. All these black people in the world that Brother Carmichael talks about, the man ain't got us outnumbered. He got us out organized. That's where we got to get up to. This is what Brother Huey P. Newton was doing. Organized force to defend ourselves within our communities. Brother Huey P. Newton was the type of a brother, even when he saw a brother was causing his situation to be such in a way that if he just had a chance to say a word or two to him, to say, man, he used to doing that, that's just a hang-up. Even when he knew the brother was kind of wrong, Brother Huey P. Newton would go out there and go down with the brother first, regardless of whether the brother was wrong or not. This is what I'm trying to get over. Brother's soul is his desire to free his people. is his desire to see his people organized in a fashion politically to deal with the racist white power structure, to deal with the man on a political level, to deal with the man and defining our situation. And when we talk about power being the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner, we define the situation. We have to have this power to make those cops act in a desired manner, that they must withdraw from our communities, that we want our own police forces, our own courts, our own institutions. This is what's happening when you start talking about power. And we must deal with it in this fashion. In the confines of every institution that exists, we must try to control it. We must control them. Our people have to be educated. Our people have to understand how, in fact, will we get the land and the bread. We can't keep going on with long dissertations and outlines and a bunch of esoteric stuff, because when you walk down on a block and try to talk to one of these brothers here, talking about, the basic socioeconomic structure, brother, and the adverse conditions that we're subjected to within the confines of our community, brother, say, man, later, man, I ain't got time for that stuff, man. But when you get ready to organize brothers, and say, man, that pig out there? Say, yeah, say, man, we're going to organize with some guns and some force, and these dudes start getting down wrong, man, we're going to defend ourselves. Brother say, I can dig it, baby, I can dig it. He becomes educated in the process. And we don't run him away because he got a process on his head. The first thing we're wondering is this here. What kind of soul has he got and he's ready to defend his people? That's first, not whether he got a natural or not. Because there's a whole lot of brothers out there been fighting them pigs with processes on their head for years and years. That's very important. I don't give a darn whether you got a process or a natural. The cops club is going to hit the head because you black. In the process of organizing the brother, he'll decide whether he wants a natural or not. I'm not going to write the revolutionary song for the brother. He'll write his own revolutionary song. That's what you've done yourselves. Before Watts, all down in L.A., I lived in L.A. for 2.5 years, all down. We didn't have nothing but processes. But after Watts, all of a sudden, brothers popped out the scene with naturals all. You wrote your own revolutionary song. I didn't have to write it for you. You want to say yourself. You want to be self. And when you involve yourself on a practical level and a for real level in a situation, this is when you become more educated besides the book. The book is very, very good to learn by. Very good to learn by. But there's another way to learn too, by doing. And we found that a lot of times, along with the book, learning by doing is even better at that. This is very important. These brothers here have done. These brothers have dealt with it on the streets, on the block, in Sacramento, California, all over the place. They dealt with it. These brothers was organized, and many more who are still up there. They know how to deal with the man in a fashion that's for real. There's no jive out there. There's none of this stuff about, man, here come the cop. I think I got to go take a leak now. We don't have that. All right, I want to ask you, I want to say to you, I want to explain to you the need for having our brother Huey P. Newton set free. Brother Huey P. Newton, as far as I'm concerned, the information I got, the man tried to murder brother Huey P. Newton. The man was trying to set brother Huey P. Newton up. But the man lost on that game because he was dealing with for real brothers. Now, Brother Huey is going to be set free. You are going to set him free. And I want every black man in this house to stand up, and we all want to say, free Huey. Free Huey or else. 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 Brothers, I want to thank you. Black power on a for real level. Thank you.
It's out of sight. We're going to be moving rather rapidly at this point. This is not just a black rally today, it's a black-brown rally, and Brother Reies Tijerina is also going to be here. As I understand, he's en route now from Delano with Brother Cesar Chavez, and let's pray that they make it. But before he arrives, I think we should have an opportunity to meet his brother, who's sitting up here on the stage with us. And I'm not going to introduce him. I think that one of his brown brothers should do that. And I would like to call up on the stage Brother Montezuma Zapata from the Brown Beret.
Brother Seale said a little while ago that the black man has been facing a war of oppression from the gabacho, what is what we call whitey. For the last 400 years. Well, the gabacho has been in the Southwest for over 100 years. And we have been facing a war of extermination for that time. Right now, there is a war in the streets, a war in the hills of northern New Mexico. And right here today is one of the men that are carrying on that war against the gabacho, because he is doing us all in. And he will do us all in if we don't fight him. So we have got to fight him! And we have got to fight! Anselmo Tijerina.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to be here with you, and I bring greetings from all the people from Mexico. I'm very sorry that Reies couldn't make it here this evening. I think he missed his plane or something. So I'm just going to tell you a few words. I'm very happy to be here, and it's an honor for me to be here. And most of all is that the brown people and the black people are getting together, united. To fight one enemy in the United States and the same enemy that's trying to suppress the whole world.
ones that signed a treaty with the black people, and that's one of the things that gave us more courage to go ahead and to go ahead a little stronger and go all the way. And we want the support from the black people, and I think that the black people would like to have our support and fight this together. I think that it's a shame that the first-class citizen is treated like third class, fourth class, is treated like if we were stepsons of this country. Anything that we try to do to protect the rights is a violation of the law. We can't do nothing to please the Gestapo. I think they wearing out the locks in the penitentiary doors, and I'm getting tired of going in and out. Every time they hear the name of Tijerina, they start jumping. It is not because we are big men or strong people, but they know that Tijerinas are trying to lead the people on the right direction and trying to teach them and discipline the people to learn how to defend their rights, even if we're going to have to spill some blood. That doesn't mean nothing to me. I served in World War II war. I made it back. But if I was in drafting age, you see, I think that I would rather serve 5 years in the penitentiary or hard labor than go to Vietnam. Well, I think that's about all. And I think that Ray has finally made it to August. It'll be better that you can hear that from him. So thank you very much.
Viva Tijerina! Viva Tijerina! All right, like we're going to be a little late and y'all warming up, and when I just hear Brother Reies Tijerina just walked in. Where is he? Where is he? All right, well, while he's getting ready, and like that's a heavy brother, I'm here to tell y'all, like the brother ain't talking revolution, he's making revolution in the hills of New Mexico. And he just don't talk about brownness, he also talks about blackness, but he also talk about redness too, and that's the Indian, because it's a struggle, baby. Here it comes, Reies Tijerina. Viva Reies! Viva Reies! Y'all just sit down now. I know y'all was going to warm up before the evening was over. Just go ahead and sit down. Hey, y'all, let me tell you something. There's another brother, and he's from the hills of Colorado. And this is Brother Corky Gonzalez. I'm sorry. That's all right. The man's in trouble. He really don't know it. He's in trouble. And I really don't care if we're going to be a little late, with our program. I'm going to take my time now.
That's all right.
Is that all right? Let's Brother Reies will speak in a few moments. But we've heard some very, very, very provocative, tough, nitty-gritty black talk thus far. So let's give Brother Bobby Seale another hand. Now, I bet you some of you even forgot that black militant minister up here by the name of Reverend Tom Kilgore, who was talking about that peace petition. Let's talk.